Ever wondered what makes some people simply exist while others truly thrive? What's the secret ingredient that helps certain individuals turn their struggles into remarkable victories? This is 𝗙𝗵𝗁, your clarity and focus coach, and I am happy to welcome to the latest episode of Focus in Action, the podcast where we celebrate remarkable achievers who have turned their struggle into success with clarity and focus. In today's episode, we have the pleasure of hosting Nirupama Vyas, an exceptional employee to entrepreneur counselor, healer, and TEDx speaker. With extensive experience in the security wing of the Government of India, Nirupama has dedicated herself to empowering women professionals to help and empower them on their entrepreneurial journey and transform online leads into successful clients. Her outstanding work in this field has earned recognition from prestigious publications such as The Hindu and the Times of India, as well as from renowned entrepreneur organizations like eGrowth. Nirupama's expertise as a keynote speaker has allowed her to inspire audiences in various corporations and public sector organizations. During her entrepreneurial journey, she realized, being an employee for so many years, how her life, mindset, and skills were different from that of an entrepreneur. And after learning the entrepreneurial mindset, skill set, and heart set from globally renowned master trainers, she started her mission to help working women fall in love with their work, bet as an, be it as an employee or as an entrepreneur. She helps women professionals to transition smoothly from employment to entrepreneurship journey by mentoring and healing them. So I'm very happy to dive into this intense conversation and unfold Nirupama's insights and learn from her wealth of knowledge. Happy to welcome her to the podcast and discover the empowering wisdom she has to offer today. Welcome, Nirupama. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome, 𝗙𝗵𝗁. Thank you for bringing me on Focus in Action and having me on the spotlight. I love the way, you were pouring through your words and, for me to really reflect, oh, I've done all of these things. I'm truly honored to be on your show.
Awesome. So my first question, Nirupama, what motivated you, to transition from being a government servant in CBI? The word CBI itself, rings the bell. To becoming an entrepreneur and counselor for working women. I still remember the first day when we met, a couple of months back, and when you
Yes.
just unfolded that I was in CBI, my eyes were like this. So what motivated you for this transition, or can you share any turning point or any event that might have sparked this change, so that this insight would help many other people to go through this transition as well, in a better way.
Yes. And thank you for asking me this question, because अगर ये conversation मैंने सुनी होती कुछ सालों पहले, so I think the transition would have been much smoother and I would have been more conscious about what I was doing. So मैं अगर आपसे बात करूं getting into the government service, it so happened because most of the people in my family were from the government sector, whether it's my grandfather, my father. So I was like the third generation embedded and married to another government servant. So सारे government servants मेरे आसपास थे.
In the family.
In the family. Even like if I see on my maternal side, mama ki side पे भी सारे लोग government service में. So that was like an obvious option, like after you complete your graduation, and I was a very confused college kid की करना क्या है. So when you are not clear, जैसे आप clarity दिलवाते हैं दूसरों को, you tend to follow everybody else's suggestions in your life.
Oh yes. Yes.
And that's how it happened. We children have this thing that we want to give back to our parents, whatever they've done for us, whatever they've contributed, and it's the time for us to give back. And उस journey में कई बार हम नहीं समझते हैं कि we cannot give it through our identity. You know, our identity is truly unique. Our identity is who we are as a person. You actually came through your parents. You didn't come to your parents. You know, this is a fine distinction that I've heard from Sadhguru, that ultimately you're coming through your parents. तो अपने आप को ऐसा मत बना दो कि आप अपना सब कुछ ही करने लग जाओ and you are giving it to them. And I want to speak to all the young adults out there, you know, who would say that my parents have done so much and, you know, I'm not doing enough. आप जो भी काम कर रहे हो और उसके through, you know, you can actually give back. You can actually contribute and, you know, repay whatever they've done in the society for you. Talking about your specific question that you asked me, that how did I move from government sector job to entrepreneurship? Frankly, there was not a single turning point, but a couple of them.
Okay.
Basically, my personal development journey really helped me understand myself as a person, understand who I am, what were my values, what were those things that I held importance to. And I realized that even during my government career, what I used to love the most was maybe comparing those cultural events, maybe going out and striking conversations with you know, people in order to do those inquiries. And I figured out that there was this people-centric approach that I was finding everywhere. And that actually made me think that how about if I do something which was more people-centric, that really allows me to use that strength of mine which comes naturally. I mean, for so many years, I didn't know this was my strength. I did not even know that, you know, this is what I'm good at. But, you know, people used to tell me, hey, you do that very flawlessly. And how do you do that? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know how does it happen.
Any event, Nirupama, any particular event if you can talk about, because you're talking about when you were in CBI, right?
Yes. So wherever, you know, those orientation, cultural events, whenever, you know, things used to happen, I used to be on stage. I used to be on the mic. I used to be comparing. I used to be, you know, actually addressing the gathering out there. And even when I see during my training days, people used to be doing different things, and I used to be on the mic, you know, talking, addressing the gathering, and that was something I used to love doing.
Okay.
And that took me to my college days when I was a debater.
Okay.
While I was just connecting all of these things, from college I went to my class 8 extempore. I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I've done throughout. I never realized this pattern of mine that I really love to talk. I really love to, you know, be with people, and maybe the context or the subject matter of each of these talks were different, you know. But then there was this common personality which was communicating, which was talking to people, which was helping people. Now, my next aspect was, what do I do with this? And believe me, when I started identifying who I am as a person, what were my strengths, that actually made me feel that what I was doing in administration was more of an operational work. And my skill sets did not match with what I was good at. You know, that was.
And how soon did you realize this?
It took me, I think, 2 to 3 years from while I was with the government, and I used to start asking these questions. And these were, you know, those questions that you ask yourself, those life-changing questions that,
which we never ask usually.
We never ask. And I was asking myself, hey, do I want to be with the government of India for the next 35 years of my life? Would I want to, you know, just be here and do what, you know, everyone around me is doing, like a 9 to 5, very comfortable, going home at a particular time, starting at a particular time? Yes, that's very comfortable. But is the comfort, you know, resonating with me? Then I figured out that comfort came down my values, you know, comfortable, security. You know, though I belong to the security wing of government of India, but security came down in the, you know, set of values that I had, and adventure came on the top, you know. And and that was a reason for me, more than comfort. I wanted to be adventurous. I wanted learning, growth at every stage. You know, which my existing organization did provide me to a level when I was entering, but not that rapidly at every stage. I wanted to reinvent myself.
Okay.
There was another personal reason that I could say. So me and my husband, we were posted across the country, like every alternate year or after 2 years. I used to get into a new place, and my husband's constant, posting was in Tamil Nadu, where I'm speaking to you from now. So I used to feel that I'm not capable enough of creating a work that would really help me live along with him. Like I wanted the best of both the worlds. I wanted to have a great career, and I wanted to have an equally good family life. So that was the second factor, that made me start finding out options. That just because I am married to a job, would that deny me from marrying with the man that I really love in my life? That was the second question I asked myself. And probably the third thing that came to my mind was that whenever I was, attending a lot of learning programs, and I was getting mentored from people both from India and abroad, I used to find this breed of entrepreneurs, and I used to ask them that how frequently, you're able to come. I need to really go to my bosses, make new reasons. Today I'm not well. Today my mom is not well, and so many different reasons to get those schuttis. And how is it possible, that you come so easily? And then they said that
yes.
we can define our own time,
Yeah.
हमें किसी से पूछना नहीं पड़ता है, एंड हम किसी भी लोकेशन से काम कर सकते हैं. एंड आई वाज अमेज्ड, ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है किसी भी लोकेशन से काम कर सकते हैं? मुझे तो वो अपना लॉग इन करना पड़ता है, बायोमेट्रिक होता है, लगाना पड़ता है. आई नीड टू वेट 8 आवर्स, वो खत्म होगा, फिर दोबारा बायोमेट्रिक लगाना होगा, थैंक्स टू द डिजिटाइजेशन बाय द मोदी गवर्नमेंट. सो आई वाज थिंकिंग दैट ऐसे कैसे है कि दे आर एबल टू वर्क फ्रॉम एनीवेयर, दे आर एबल टू डू थिंग्स. I need to be answerable to so many authorities. And that's where I realized that freedom is another value, that I cherish.
And that's my value too. The first one, freedom.
Yeah.
Totally resonant.
So I realized that freedom is what I would want. And for the people who are listening, I would want to say freedom is not like, hey, I want to be my own boss. That's not only freedom. Freedom is basically that choice, the choice to do whatever you want, how much you want,
yes,
when you want, and create that flexibility. I would not deny discipline, I would not deny hard work, wo aapko karna hai, but even to have that autonomy to take your own decisions, when you want to. So that's when I started thinking कि कुछ तो गड़बड़ है, जहाँ पे मैं हूँ और जो मैं हूँ वो दोनों अलग-अलग चीजें हैं.
Personalities हैं. Very nice.
And that's where the real exploration started. कि मुझे ये नहीं पता था प्रेम साई that मुझे क्या करना है, but मुझे ये definitely पता था कि ये तो नहीं
करना है. Yeah, here I would like to definitely talk about that. It's very important, to get your not to do list, so that you're very sure about कि यहाँ पे मेरी time and energy मुझे खर्चा नहीं करना है.
Exactly.
Totally.
Exactly. So that's how all these factors, one after the other, made me realize that अब ढूंढो कि करना क्या है.
हाँ. I think what I heard here in this answering this question, Nirupama, is pehla chीज is anyone, be it at any age, maybe a teenager or maybe people those who are at the verge of choosing the career right now, start नहीं किए हैं, करने वाले हैं, और maybe आप कुछ साल कर चुके हो and then you are finding it difficult. You spoke about that, at times what happens, we are so answerable to our parents, कभी कभी ऐसा लगता है कि हम उनके प्रेशर के तले if we do not say yes to what they want, it would be a burden for us. So that's actually not the case. And here I just want to give you one, I think we spoke about when we met for the first time is,
Yeah.
if you see, and you put it very well, as Sadhguru says, that you are independent life. And
Yes.
even what the doctor first does after a child is born, placenta pehle cut karta hai. So which means
Yes.
you are separated from your, which means you are separated as a different life.
Yes.
That context. So which means you have your own values, you have your own set of understanding as you could discover. And आपने ये भी बोला and ये भी आपने insight दिया कि the sooner the better. जब आपको
Absolutely.
पता चल जाता है कि your values. So that is one thing as a takeaway from your answer. Second thing is to know that what are your values and also to know that what you should not be doing.
Yes.
And then you are ready to, explore the options.
Right.
So that's awesome, and that's a awesome answer that you really gave justice to this question.
Thank
Now,
you.
so Nirupama, moving forward, what I know is, and I have actually gone through your TEDx talk,
Okay.
being your own boss.
Right. Thank you for
And
watching that.
thank you. And so, tell us about what are the pointers and factors that you discussed in that? Just in a summarized manner, discuss that women need to consider before deciding or to start an entrepreneurial path, or maybe transitioning from one to another, or maybe youngsters who are starting to become an entrepreneur right from the beginning itself. Any of the primary 1 to 3 pointers that any woman or maybe not any person, I would say, why woman?
Sure.
Because I've seen a lot of men also having that, observing that pattern in their midlife and
Yeah,
trying to
absolutely.
figure it out, something going and doing new things, new stuff. So what
Yeah.
are the couple of pointers that you would like to bring in here for them?
So that's a brilliant question. And apparently, मैंने जब अपना TEDx talk दिया था, there I was talking about how I got into becoming my own boss. And probably, before that, uh, I do not consider all these factors. I mean, the irony of situation is I am talking about this thing, but I think every master was once a disaster. So I am actually talking from my disastrous aspect, जो चीजें, जो गलतियां मैंने की है, I do not want others to be, doing those set of mistakes, before actually getting into the entrepreneurial journey. So the first thing that I would really want to tell all the people who want to get into entrepreneurship is please identify who are the people whom you want to help. लोग सोचते हैं कि नहीं, हम पहले identify करेंगे हमें करना क्या है. What is that one business idea, that around which I would want to create my business. But I would want to say, don't start with that idea. Start with the people whom you would want to help.
Okay.
क्योंकि when you identify आपके audience कौन है, when you identify the people whom you resonate with, what you do is you go and do a market research there. आप मार्केट रिसर्च, जब मैंने स्टार्ट किया था, मैंने ना एक नॉर्मल गूगल फॉर्म से स्टार्ट किया था. इट वाज अ नॉर्मल फीडबैक फॉर्म दैट आई आस्क्ड, हे I'm starting this new business. What do you think you would want? And it was a very innocent question I asked. What do you think you would want me to start that business on? And I won't say that's the right question, but the right question could be, what is that burning issue in your life that I could solve, that I could resolve? That is one question, that you can actually ask some of the friends that you feel, who are in that target audience that you would be serving, right? And then start making a list of all these things. Okay, this is what they are not able to resolve. This is where they are finding challenges. And you will find a list of, 5 to 10 things, कि ये चीज नहीं हो सकती, ये चीज. And then start looking at that. What is that thing that I can solve out of these 10 things?
Okay.
Find out those 3 things, कि ये 3 चीजें मैं solve कर सकती हूँ या कर सकता हूँ. And maybe आपको immediate solution नहीं पता, उसके लिए भी आपको सीखना होगा. you know. But at least अभी आपको ये तो पता है ना कि what is that field you should go out and learn rather than just figuring out launching everything. बहुत सारे लोग पूरी किताब लिख देते हैं, बहुत सारे लोग पूरा कोर्स लॉन्च कर देते हैं, या बहुत सारे लोग एक प्रोटोटाइप बना देते हैं, बहुत पैसा लगा देते हैं, and then they realize मार्केट को इस चीज की जरूरत ही नहीं थी. So I would really want you all to do that groundwork first before you start putting your money, before you start putting your time, energy, effort. That's the first thing, I would want all the people who are listening right now, do a market research, talk to your audience, and really get those burning issues right. कि वो burning issue क्या है जो आपको solve करना है. Now, the second thing that I would want to say is that every business requires finances. There are people who say कि zero budget पे आप business start कर सकते हो. Yes, but if you want to run a business, if you want to scale it up, if you want to market the business, all of that would require some cost. And
at some point of time, you definitely need money. Absolutely.
So आप वो कहाँ से पैसा लेके आने वाले हो, and to be very frank, जब मैंने स्टार्ट किया था बिजनेस, या जब मैंने ये डिसाइड किया था कि मुझे जॉब नहीं करनी है, तो मैंने वो कैलकुलेट नहीं किया था कि कितना पैसे की मुझे रिक्वायरमेंट है. बट आई वाज गुड विद माय सेविंग्स. जब से मेरी जॉब लगी थी, आई हैड बीन अ गुड सेवर एंड डिलिजेंटली सेविंग ऑल ऑफ दोज थिंग्स. सो मेरे पास कॉर्पस रखा हुआ है. बट व्हाट वाज दैट कॉर्पस इनफ? आई वुड से नो.
Okay.
Will that corpus require me to really move ahead and take care of things? I am not sure about that, right? So here, I would want all of you to have your financial part absolutely clear. क्योंकि अगर आपका
Nirupamaa, I would like to pause you here and ask you one question. So, do you mean to say that अगर मेरे पास पैसे नहीं है तो मैं बिजनेस शुरू नहीं कर सकती हूँ? मेरे पास बहुत अच्छी आइडिया है, इतना अच्छा आइडिया कि आई नो कि वहां पे एक बर्निंग इशू है, एंड मुझे ये पता है कि मैं सॉल्व कर सकती हूँ, बट मेरे पास फंड नहीं है. इन दैट सिनेरियो क्या करना चाहिए?
Now, this is a very good question, and अब मैं इसका आंसर करूँ तो I would be contradicting myself in my previous answer. See, there are a lot of people, and there are a lot of people who start with zero money. Now, मैं आपको इस केस में बोलूंगी, there is something known as creative financing. आपके पास एक बहुत अच्छा आइडिया है, आपने मार्केट में एक गैप एरिया आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया है, एंड इफ यू कैन गेट अ रिच रिलेटिव, क्योंकि शुरुआत में तो हम इन्वेस्टर्स के पास नहीं जाते हैं. शुरुआत में तो हम, लेट्स से इफ देयर आर यंगस्टर्स हु आर लिसनिंग, you may have to pitch that idea to your own dad, or you may have to pitch your idea to your elder brother or sister, or maybe to some of your friends, to tell them that, hey, I have this idea, I am ready to do the operational aspect of it, and you could be a lazy investor.
That's a good idea.
You have the money, you don't have to do anything, but I can give you a stakeholding of my business. आपने पैसा डालना है, and for every profit, for every profit that we make, you are going to get a revenue sharing, a profit sharing. So there are enough and more people, who have money, but they don't have the time.
Yeah, true, very true.
So that's where, you could leverage that idea, and you can actually network, you could actually enroll a person who could invest in your business. There. And अगर वैसे भी नहीं है, एक और एग्जांपल मैं देती हूँ आपको. आप you can sell before you actually earn, but then आपकी selling skills होनी चाहिए उसमें. अगर आपकी selling skills नहीं है, so a lot of my clients, what they do is वो बेच के पहले आ जाते हैं, then they come to me, निरुपमा, ये create करना, कैसे create करें?
Okay. Okay.
जब आपने पैसा ले लिया है ना, तो कहीं ना कहीं आपके ऊपर वो प्रेशर क्रिएट होता है, and then you figure out.
Yeah. And every human being has that knack. प्रेशर में कुछ चीजें अच्छी हो ही जाती है.
हो जाती है.
Yeah.
So that is also a way, by which you can actually do that. You can sell it to a few people, but हर एक का वो conviction इतना strong नहीं होता है. Not everybody is, really getting into that space where they can, sell something and sell it in the air. And I would not even suggest that, but that's also a way a lot of people do that.
So what did you do, Nirupama? As you said, that few mistakes, right? So as you said, your corpus was good to start, but it was not enough. What did you do? Who was your rich relative in your family? Or how was it?
So I want to tell you that, I did something which I would really want to really suggest, and I'm proud of myself for doing that. शायद उस टाइम पे लिए मेरे लिए बहुत डिफिकल्ट था वो चीज. थोड़ा सा सस्पेंस बना रही हूँ मैं.
Feel that sense that.
Okay, so what happened when I started out? उस टाइम पे ना I was not clear about what do I do a business on, what do I create a business on.
Okay.
और मैंने मार्केट रिसर्च तो किया था, लेकिन मार्केट रिसर्च के बाद भी मुझे क्लैरिटी नहीं हो रही थी कि मैं किस चीज पे बिजनेस क्रिएट करूं.
Okay.
So at that point, I thought of actually working under an entrepreneur.
Okay.
After I resigned from my job, and अगर मैं प्रेम से आपको बोलूं, मैं तो सरकारी नौकरी से आई थी, and I had like big airs about myself, and to really think कि मैं दोबारा जाके नौकरी करूंगी एक नौकरी छोड़ के, it was a big ego issue for me, and maybe for anyone, जो एक बहुत ही एक अच्छे स्टेटस से आए हैं और वहां से आए हैं. बट मुझे ये पता था कि मुझे गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर का तो पता है, लेकिन मुझे एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के बारे में बहुत कुछ नहीं पता है. एंड दैट वाज वेयर आई एक्चुअली re-employed myself. I re-employed myself in order to learn from an entrepreneur to understand, business होता कैसे है.
Okay.
एंड गाइस, मैं आपको ये बताना चाहूंगी, अगर आप कहीं पे नौकरी कर रहे हैं तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप छोटे हो गए हैं. आपको नौकरी करने में पूरा सिस्टम समझ आ रहा है, और एट द सेम टाइम यू आर पेड फॉर दैट. एंड आपको जब वो पे किया जाता है, आप उससे अपना कॉर्पस बिल्ड कर सकते हैं अपने बिजनेस में इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए. सो फॉर द वेरी फर्स्ट ईयर, आई वाज रियली वर्किंग अंडर समवन. सारे काम मैं कर रही थी, मार्केटिंग हो, सेल्स हो, कुछ भी हो, बट आई वांटेड टू लर्न एवरीथिंग. आई वांटेड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि एंटरप्रेन्योर सोचते कैसे हैं, कौन से काम वो करते हैं, कौन से काम वो नहीं करते हैं. And I had that hands-on experience. Maybe I would have learned from big trainers, but वो सिर्फ skills है. I have not applied them. I have not implemented them. और कोई भी काम आप तभी सीख सकते हो जब आपने उसको ग्राउंड पे किया है,
खुद करना.
यस. एंड जब आपने किया है, हो सकता है वो नहीं वर्कआउट करे, बट एटलीस्ट आपको इतना पता होता है कि क्या चीज वर्कआउट नहीं की और आपको क्या नहीं करना है. एंड what's going to happen is you will have a lot of things that you got to focus on, and a lot of things that you can actually let go. जिसमें another thing I want to say, a master has tried much more. A master has tried and failed much more times than an amateur has even tried.
Absolutely. Totally resonate. That's an awesome statement, I would say.
Yeah. क्योंकि आपने वो सारा कुछ किया हुआ है, and it's okay if you failed.
And you know that इस तरह से काम नहीं करने वाला.
Exactly.
That understanding, you get it. Yeah. So in my school days here, I would like to point it that I have a lot of friends who are Marwadis, and they're all business. They're all into business. मतलब उनकी पुश्तैनी, उनके पापा, उनके बच्चे और उनके आगे वाले बच्चे भी I think business ही करेंगे. So they actually religiously follow this concept कि before they even allow their children to take over their business, they first these like my friends. So they worked with their parents, as in taking salary leave.
Yes. Yes.
And after maybe a couple of years, when their parents are like, maybe their whoever their business holders, बहुत sure हो जाते थे कि this guy has learned, then
Yes.
only they were allowed to become a stakeholder in the business. So
Absolutely.
I have seen that, and I've seen how they have learned to thrive, and they're doing great now.
Yes, absolutely. Like I remember the example of 𝗷𝗵𝗵𝗏, here. Even he is a big business tycoon. Even he asked his son to actually work under people in his company, and his son was like, "Hey, I am, let's say the next in line. Why would I really do a job under those people who are your employees?"
Yeah, yeah.
And his father said, "Because they know much more than what you do." So it's important to learn from the people. आप किसी एक फील्ड में बहुत स्ट्रांग होंगे, बट आप जब नेक्स्ट फील्ड में जा रहे हैं, वहां पे आपको जीरो से ही स्टार्ट करना होगा और आपको बिल्कुल वहीं से सीखना होगा. एंड समटाइम्स प्रेम साई, हमारे लिए वो बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है कि हम जीरो से स्टार्ट करें, क्योंकि हमने तो बहुत ज्यादा पढ़ाई की है एंड वी हैव लर्न सो मच, एंड कोई हमें दोबारा से बोल रहा है, दैट्स एन एटीट्यूडनल शिफ्ट, व्हिच वी नीड टू डू.
Excellent, very nicely put. Yeah. Okay, so apart from the mistakes and how did you go through this? So when you are doing these mistakes, and definitely you would also be going through a lot of challenges, emotionally, psychological. And we see these days, even you and me, we all have gone through, and we are still at times, after
Yes.
after COVID, things have totally changed, right? So how do you, how have you overcome through this psychological challenge or emotional challenge, or maybe now the thought process or whatever it may be? And can you just help us, like maybe working women facing when considering the leap to become their own boss? How do you empower and guide them through these obstacles through your story?
Sure, sure. I'll be happy to talk about that. So, see, let's first talk about the challenges, and then we look at that, how do we counter those challenges?
Yeah.
So the first challenge that I faced was, abandoning my existing career and starting and embarking on a new career. आपने, let's say, ever since you've been into education, आपने पढ़ाई किसी एक चीज के लिए की है. let's say आप एक engineer है, आपने 4 साल engineering की पढ़ाई की, और अब 4 साल पूरे हो गए, आपने कहीं पे नौकरी की, और उसके बाद अब आप सोच रहे हैं, नहीं, अब तो मुझे एक आइसक्रीम शॉप खोलनी है. ऐसे ही सोचते हैं ना हम एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में, राइट? एंड अब नाउ यू आर थिंकिंग दैट मैं पहले तो जॉब में हूँ, और मुझे अभी जॉब के साथ साथ, सिंस आपने एक वर्किंग वुमेन या वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल्स के बारे में पूछा, उनका एक 8 से 10 घंटे का एक फुल टाइम जॉब है, एंड उसके साथ मैं बोल रही हूँ कि आपने अपना बिजनेस साथ में खड़ा करना है, सो नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस इज, जो आपका पूरा टाइम है, मैं आपको अपना एग्जांपल देती हूँ. जब मैं अपने जॉब के साथ सोच रही थी, और मैं जॉब में 2-3 साल उसमें प्रिपेयर कर रही थी while I was learning, तो मेरा जैसे सुबह मेरे घर से मेरे ऑफिस तक जाने में 1.5 घंटा लगता था.
अच्छा.
एंड द कार इन विच आई यूज्ड टू गो, मैं वहां पे अपना एक लेसन ऑन कर लेती थी. तो वो 1.5 घंटे का टाइम सुबह का और 1.5 घंटे का टाइम शाम का, those traveling times used to be my learning times.
Beautiful.
I was not driving. I want to tell it because some of you might be driving, while you do that. Please don't do that. Make sure that you are
yes.
So that was the thing. Please make sure कि आप अपने traveling time को learning time की तरह use करें. Then a lot of times, why am I emphasizing on this part is because you need to develop skills, people. It's very important to develop skills. आपके जो वीकेंड्स होते हैं ना, आप देखोगे कि आपके फ्रेंड्स पार्टी कर रहे हैं, आपके फ्रेंड्स आपको बुला रहे हैं, कि स्पेशली जब आपके द फर्स्ट फ्यू इयर्स या इनिशियल 10 years होते हैं आपकी जर्नी के, दैट्स द टाइम यू आर पार्टी एनिमल, यू आर वांटिंग टू एक्सप्लोर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. So that is the time you're actually sitting back and learning and really trying to build your business. और आपके दिमाग में बहुत बार ये thought cross करेगा, am I really mad सारी दुनिया पार्टी कर रही है, सारी दुनिया एंजॉय कर रही है, लोग
मैं
शादियों में
यहाँ पे बैठ के
जा रहे हैं और मैं यहाँ पे बैठ के आई एम रियली डूइंग समथिंग जो मेरे को ये भी नहीं पता कि वो मुझे रिजल्ट देगा या नहीं।
अनसर्टेनिटी
Uncertainty. And that is another challenge, that a lot of people are facing when they are building their business. So that is the time मैं आपको कोई proof of concept नहीं दे सकती उस चीज का. Business will take its own gestation period. जैसे it takes a human baby 9 months,
9 months, yeah,
to really come out of a mother's womb, a plant to grow.
healthy baby.
Yes.
उससे पहले expect करना means that is something which is not natural.
Absolutely. Similarly, अगर आपको मैंगो चाहिए तो आपको मैंगो सीजन तक का वेट करना होगा. So in the same manner, आप जो आज मेहनत कर रहे हैं वो मेहनत आपको ultimately आप उसके लिए future build कर रहे हैं. So what you are doing is you are investing in your future by maybe doing that work today. And yes, you may have to compromise on all the fun, all the things that the other people of your age are doing. But I want to definitely tell you that when whatever you achieve out of that would be much more than what they will be achieving when they are there. Of course, in your own definition, and every person has a very different definition of success. बट जो आप आज इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो वो कुछ और क्रिएट करके देगा आपको फ्यूचर में. सो ना कि आप आज के लिए काम कर रहे हो फॉर विच यू आर डूइंग योर 9 to 5, बट यू आर ऑल्सो बिल्डिंग योर फ्यूचर और आप उस फ्यूचर के लिए भी काम कर रहे हो. So there are two concepts. One is working in the now and one is working for the future. You are doing both of those things simultaneously. And thoda difficult hoga, thoda challenge hoga, but it is much better than actually being on the other side and knowing nothing. कि मुझे तो पता ही नहीं है कि what is it that I need to be doing. So yeah, this is something that I would want to say. Another thing that I would say is entrepreneurial journey is a very lonely journey. क्योंकि आप सारे डिसीजंस ले रहे हो, आप सब कुछ क्रिएट कर रहे हो और जैसे मैंने आपको बोला वीकेंड्स पे आप स्लॉग कर रहे हो, लेट आवर्स में आप स्लॉग्स कर रहे हो. कुछ लोग मॉर्निंग बर्ड होते हैं तो वो जल्दी उठ के काम कर रहे हैं. एंड कहीं ना कहीं यू विल गेट दैट थॉट दैट is it really worth it? Am I on the right direction? And that is the reason I would say please have a support network. Have those bunch of people. They need not be your mentors, they need not be your advisors, but jo aapko bas who can pat your back and say, hey, you're doing good. Hey, what you're doing, I really believe in you. Please go ahead. And simultaneously you will also have to cut off from the people who criticize you, who don't believe in you. You will have to start reducing your time, क्योंकि जब एक छोटा पौधा है उसमें उतनी जान नहीं है कि इट्स आपने मूवी देखी होगी तारे ज़मीं पर. उसमें एक स्टोरी बोलते हैं देयर इज अ सॉल्मन आइलैंड, वहां पे सब लोग उस पेड़ को गाली देते हैं एंड दैट पेड़ डाइज.
No, even I think there is a video. A lot of videos are there based on that.
Yes.
To keep 3 different container with rice, and then you show gratitude and give affirmation to a particular.
Yes.
And this next to you do gali and all that stuff, and then you see यहाँ पे fungus हो जाता है, and this is just with the process they decay.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you need to guard your circle of influence in a big way, क्योंकि अभी आप ही को इतना faith नहीं है अपने idea में. So वो you cannot have those BMWs. I normally say those people who bitch, who moan and who whine. You don't have to have those BMW in your network. अगर आपको रियल में BMW लेनी है तो you cannot have these people in your life.
Chanakya Niti, without having your own kind of a value aligned ecosystem.
Yes, absolutely.
And then that would be a support network for you, so that that itself will nurture you and help you become more resourceful. So
yes, absolutely. और एक और भी चीज होती है प्रेमसा, इन दैट जब हम जॉब में होते हैं ना, बहुत बार हम सिर्फ अपने घर और अपने ऑफिस के कलीग्स से बात करते हैं।
हाँ, yeah.
बट जब हमें बिजनेस करना होता है तो हमें एक बड़े नेटवर्क की जरूरत होती है।
Yes.
A lot of times it so happens, people come out of the job and they're like, hey, I don't have people who understand me because we never invested in creating that kind of network. And बहुत सारे लोग नहीं करते. I truly agree, टाइम नहीं होता, और we never think कि हमें उस चीज की नीड होगी. But we got to be open to be meeting new kinds of people. We need to be understanding to go to newer places जहाँ पे अलग अलग टाइप के लोग हैं और हम उनके आइडियाज से सीख सकते हैं that what is actually going out in the entrepreneurial circles. I mean, that's another way that you can get that fresh bunch of energy, to answer your question. Yeah.
Amazing. And okay, so an extension of the question to this particular answer is, at times people who are in this entrepreneurial journey and they're going good and they've already started, but in the journey क्या होता है ना, हम इसको उसको देखते हैं and then we get that peer pressure or maybe that imposter syndrome, or maybe देख लिया किसी को कहीं पे post and all that, and then you get to know that okay, so he or she is also in the same business.
Yeah.
But see how he or she is doing great. I mean, having that conclusion by seeing some pictures or maybe reading something, and then or maybe these days that these awards
Yeah.
is also a business model, and you see
Yes.
some people are getting that visibility, and we
Yes.
don't know exactly that, or maybe you might not have that knowledge कि ये भी paid awards होते हैं.
Yes, of course.
Looking at that, you get insecure about कि अरे मैं अभी तक यही हूँ, मुझे तो कोई award मिला नहीं.
Right.
This is one of the example. How do we actually nurture our emotion part of it when we see people around and we think that they are doing great without knowing actually the real story of it?
Absolutely. And that's a brilliant question because I remember when I started my journey and I actually came out of my job, that was a time a lot of my friends, they started booking houses. They started buying luxury cars and, or maybe going to overseas, for trips and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing here? And what are all these people doing? And that's the question, that we all think through. So, guys, that's where you need to be clear about your choices, and sometimes also here I would also want to create a very important distinction of your spending habits.
Okay.
Now what happens is, as an employee we start thinking कि जो चीज हमें पसंद आई, and it's more of an emotional decision. Oh, let me just go grab that. Let me just, next month की salary आ ही जाएगी ना, तो even if I'm in debt, even if I'm in I have to buy things through EMI, why not I buy that? But here I want to tell you, when you are on an entrepreneurial journey, it's not only investing in your business, but you're also looking at it from the perspective of paying salaries to yourself and to your employees. And that's where there is a different picture altogether, right? And जब आप अपने आप को responsible feel करते हो ना कि it is not only yourself, but you are also responsible for taking care of the families of all your employees. That's where आपको समझ आएगा कि जो लोग they are indulging into different things. I'm talking about this part because we actually get ruled by the material things around us. And this is one aspect wherein one is understanding why you actually started. In fact, that's the most primary thing to begin with.
Yes, the why part of
yes,
taking your choices to become an entrepreneur.
Yes.
In the first place. Yes.
And आपका why हर एक स्टेज पे भी चेंज होगा, मैं ये भी बता रही हूँ आपको. Because जब आपने स्टार्ट किया था, maybe it was like, oh, I want to be my own boss. Oh, I want to have no ceiling on my income. That's how most employees think. क्योंकि मैंने भी वैसे ही सोचा. I'm telling you from that place. So, and as you become more purpose driven, as you understand the core of your business, and as you understand that why you're doing what you're doing, you understand the layer of your why. जब आप why of why समझने लगते हो ना कि अच्छा मुझे business create करना है, क्यों business create करना है? business इसलिए create करना है because let's say आप एक सस्टेनेबल लिविंग दिखा रहे हैं तो सस्टेनेबल लिविंग दिखा रहे हैं. अच्छा सस्टेनेबल लिविंग से क्या होगा? So you are actually digging deeper and you will find the layers of your why, you know. और जब आपको एक bottom most layer दिखाई देगी ना तो आपको समझ आएगा कि मैं ये कर क्यों रहा हूँ. Is it to please everyone around me? Is it to really be very cool? You know that
Nirupamaa, you spoke about NLP just now, and that's what we do it even with the workshops with the leaders when they start asking like why, and then they keep asking. So chunking down and going to a specifics.
Yes.
Or chunking up and going to a generic.
Yes.
And in that case, you hit the bottom, and then uske baad there is no why further. Even if you keep asking why, wahi answer aata rahega. And that's where you get a clarity. कि अब समझ में आ रहा है कि मुझे ये करना है कि नहीं करना है. At times what happens, as you rightly said, you start with something and at the end your why, the statement of your why, the answer of your why कि इसलिए करना है, that also उसकी versions भी आती जाएंगी. And at the end you get to know exactly your passion statement would emerge in the process. Amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is just one of the ways, and every time you are seeing somebody else, hey, that person is getting an award, और उसने और मैंने साथ में स्टार्ट किया, उसको फंडिंग मिल गई, उसको एक इन्वेस्टर मिल गया, तो वो ज्यादा बोल्डली खेल पा रहा है. मेरे एक मेंटर बोलते थे कि अगर आप एक ओपनिंग बैट्समैन है तो आपको पता है कि आपकी पीछे पूरी टीम है तो आप बहुत अच्छे रिस्क ले सकते हो, बट अगर आप टेल एंडर हो और आपको पता है विकेट्स बचानी है, अभी उतना नहीं है, तो आप थोड़ा सा डिफेंसिव खेलोगे, you will not get into that sort of an aggression. So one is really
very good example, I would say, Nirupamaa, because the strategy changes from a person who is an opener and जो भी एंड में खेलता है, पूरी स्ट्रैटेजी चेंज हो जाती है. यहाँ पे रिस्क ले सकते हो, यहाँ पे डिफेंस में खेलना है, सेविंग ज्यादा हो जाता है and all that stuff. So the whole game and the whole you can say the strategy and the trajectory also changes, aligning to the big goals. Yeah.
So आपको ये आइडेंटिफाई करना है कि आप हो कौन और आप कहाँ पे हो, और हर एक के लिए वो चीज बहुत डिफरेंट होती है. एंड आई थिंक जो हम सेल्फ डेवलपमेंट की बात करते हैं एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में, जितना आप अपने आप को जानने लग जाओगे, जितना आप अपने आप को समझने लग जाओगे, एंड वेयर यू आर, at least you'll get a real picture. Or when you get that real picture, when you understand your why, and when you understand why you are doing what you are doing, and at the same time you will start figuring out, अच्छा अब मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ या कर सकती हूँ, that would involve me to take strategic decisions, to reach the place where I'm wanting to reach. And I can't tell you that this is what is going to work for you, because for each one of us it's a very different journey, it's a very different place where we are. But at least you will start making your brain think, and the hardest thing for a human brain to do is to think, क्योंकि हम सोचते ही नहीं है, my dear friends. ना हम अपने आप को टाइम देते हैं सोचने का.
I think the more you connect with yourself, you get to know, because कभी-कभी ऐसा होता है, there's if you see 9 planets also, or the 8 planets, whatever अभी जो भी syllabus में है, गति different है सबकी.
Yes.
And वैसे मरकुरी जो अब टाइम लगाता है, वेनस वो टाइम नहीं लगाता है, सैटर्न अलग टाइम लगाता है, उसी तरह से हमारी सबकी गति अलग-अलग है.
Yes.
And when you know that my speed and my pace, now the thing is we cannot compare कि rabbit अगर चीता को देखेगा कि मैं the gati, the speed is different, the pace is different. And when you start coming out of your own core and start becoming like that, यही होता है ना, because we get very much insecure when we see people, or maybe कहीं हमने कुछ पोस्ट पढ़ लिया, कुछ हो गया कि अरे उसने बहुत स्पीड से कर लिया, हमारी गति अलग अलग है. And when you connect to your core self and you understand yourself and you are in your well-being state,
Yes.
Taking calculative risk for sure, because as you said, you gave a very nice example ki aap opener ho, which means like if you are a starter, if you are at that age, so you can have some calculated risk, or maybe you can take some risk and then you have time. But when you are starting at the mid age, or maybe somewhere you don't have much of time to play around, then you can be a little more playing safe and understanding and taking inputs from others.
Oh,
And as you very rightly said that hum sabki journey alag alag hoti hai, so that pace and that space and everything is so important, and that only can happen when you connect with yourself, with your why, and unfolding the layers of why very very beautifully.
I also want to add one more thing, Timsa,
Yeah.
here. हम लोगों की ना choices भी बहुत अलग है life में. जैसे there are some people who just want to focus on career, and they are, absolutely okay with focusing on career and business and taking that aggressive move one after the other. But there are some people who are like, hey, I want to give time to my family also. I want to spend that time with my children. I want to, see them grow up, or I want to take those vacations with my husband. I want to do that. Now, there are some people who are like, I just want to focus in one direction, first make it grow, and then do all of that. जो हमें पता नहीं कि वो कब आएगा. And there are some people, who say that I want to do everything alongside. I don't want to, miss the scenery as I'm taking this journey,
to meet a client.
Yes, absolutely. So there are people who want to be in that process, keep moving, and at the same time, don't want to have that burnout.
Yeah, very, very important. Very important.
And I would definitely want to take those 10 years, enjoy the life with my family, and then be successful than burning out in the next 5 years and, losing all my important relationships or all those things that are important to me. So that's again a choice that you need to take. कि आपको कहाँ जाना है और कैसे अपनी journey create करनी है.
Yeah, and to add here also is like the roles that you play in life.
Yes.
And see that are you nurturing all the roles?
Yes.
Because your motherhood will not wait for 10 years after you set your business and then you go back. Your child would have grown by then,
Absolutely.
So it is always your call, as very, very rightly said, Nirupama. That's a very, and these is burnout is one of the issue, a burning issue. Burnout is a burning issue. Yeah.
And especially when I'm talking to, like my audience, who are working and who are creating a business and who are taking care of families. And I am like, सब कुछ हो जाए, बस इनको burnout नहीं करवाना है, because otherwise they will lose that joy of creating that business.
Yeah. Amazing, amazing. Because, मुझे वो श्लोक तो याद नहीं है, but it is in Gita, Bhagavad Gita, which says that when you reach that success, right? Whenever you consume that success, you should be consuming that success, not success consuming you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you should take care of yourself till you reach.
Right.
And after that also, sustaining it.
Absolutely. So बहुत बार हम ना अपना breakfast miss कर देते हैं सुबह सुबह, बस because हमें एक important meeting करनी है. So if you don't take care of your health, if you not take care of the health of your business, if you don't take care of the health of your family, and you are wanting to take care of the health of business, it's not going to happen. And these are little things, but you identify. I used to be one, मैं चलते चलते breakfast करती थी all throughout my, employee days and everything.
Achha.
And I realized that what am I doing to myself? And those little things, when you start identifying that, hey, what is important to you? Again, going back to those things, what are your choices in life?
The fundamentals, yeah.
Yes.
I have messed up my, with 𝗙𝗵𝗿 prolapse, the whole story, and becoming a yoga practitioner. And all the time I cannot be lucky, right? Overcoming all all of it and becoming a yoga practitioner. So amazing. So, in your universe, you is you.
Yeah.
So that's what, you have to take care of yourself, and then you can really find joy in your journey of entrepreneurship. Amazing.
Absolutely.
So basically, if you can summarize, Nirupama, what practical steps or strategies do you recommend for working women who aspire to become entrepreneurs while ensuring financial stability as well? and security, and how can a woman cultivate the mindset? I would like you to focus on this part of the question, like how can a woman cultivate the mindset required for entrepreneurship? Just a practical 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, steps where as a takeaway.
So let me answer your first part of the question. How do we ensure that we get into entrepreneurship without disturbing the finances? And then we talk about the mindset part. So let's say, आप अभी एक job में है या, you are looking at getting into entrepreneurship. So the first thing that I would want all of you to look at is to develop, a corpus. To really understand, आपको थोड़ा सा बैठ के math करना होगा कि let's say अगले 1 से 2 साल अगर मैं कुछ भी नहीं earn करूं, so मेरी फैमिली के कितने खर्चे हैं, मेरे कितने खर्चे हैं, एंड लेट्स से अगर आपका घर आपके ऊपर चलता है, क्योंकि बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग होते हैं, बहुत सारी ऐसी वर्किंग विमेन भी होती है जिनका पूरा घर उनके पैसे पे चलता है. तो अगर लेट्स सी मैं 2 साल नहीं काम करती हूँ तो मुझे कितना पैसे की जरूरत है विदाउट डिस्टर्बिंग. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट लग्जरीज, आप एक हॉलीडे प्लान कर रहे हो, बट जो बेसिक्स है वो आपके डिस्टर्ब ना हो. हैव अ नंबर फॉर दैट. Then the second thing that I would also want to tell you is, जब भी हम business के बारे में सोचते हैं, so every business will require some expenses, whether it is asset expenses, whether it is operational expenses. आप आगे जाके एक टीम करते हैं, आपके marketing costs होते हैं, जितना आप समझ सकते हैं. ये तो पहला हमने जो पार्ट देखा वो पार्ट था कि हमें कितना खर्चा लगेगा हमारे डे टू डे चीजों को मैनेज करने के लिए. नाउ आई एम लुकिंग एट फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ what is the money that you require for creating your business, and factor in all those things that you feel are required. कि मुझे कल एक लर्निंग प्रोग्राम करना है, कल मार्केटिंग करनी है, फेसबुक पे एड्स रन करनी है, यूट्यूब पे एड्स रन करनी है, कितना पैसा लगेगा. एटलीस्ट एक मोटा मोटा आइडेंटिफाई कर लो कि क्या क्या चीजों की जरूरत होगी. हैव अ नंबर फॉर दैट. वो नंबर आइडेंटिफाई कर लो. नाउ द नेक्स्ट थिंग इज, अब आप सोच रहे हो कि मैंने तो पूरे नंबर आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया, मेरी तो पूरी तैयारी हो गई, बट मैं आपको इतना बोला जाऊंगी जितना आपने नंबर तैयार किया ना उससे आपका खर्चा थोड़ा सा ज्यादा ही होगा. इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू बी what you have exact. So always have a little bit extra. जैसे अगर आपने 100% आपका ये खर्चा है तो at least have 1.5 times what you have really figured out with yourself, and because you're earning you can do your savings. तो उससे क्या होगा, आपके ऊपर ना मेंटल प्रेशर नहीं होगा किसी भी तरह का. Now that you are looking at creating your business, आपको बैक ऑफ द माइंड ये पता है कि मेरा इन्वेस्टमेंट्स है मेरी, या ये मेरा कॉर्पस है जो मेरे पास ऑलरेडी है, एंड आई डोंट नीड टू वरी. एट द सेम टाइम मैं अभी ओपनिंग बैट्समैन की तरह खेल रही हूँ, मैं अभी टेल एंडर की तरह नहीं खेल रही हूँ कि मेरे पास इतना ही पैसा है, इसी में मुझे अपने घर का खर्चा निकालना है, इसी में मुझे अपना बिजनेस डेवलप करना है. वो बहुत ही डिफरेंट अप्रोच होती है. आपने देखा होगा कि जो लोग अपने फैमिली रन बिजनेसेस से आते हैं उनको they are actually feeling कि नहीं हमारे पास पूरा एम्पायर है पीछे, तो उनकी अप्रोच खेलने की बहुत अलग होती है, एंड दे विल लुक एट एक्सपैंड कैसे करें, अभी यहाँ तक तो पहुंच गए, अब इसके बियॉन्ड हमें कैसे रन करना है. बट अगर आप उस स्टेज से स्टार्ट कर रहे हो जो फैमिली की बैकिंग नहीं है, सारे लोग आप पे डिपेंडेंट है, आपने के लिए सी आई वांट टू टेल यू वन पर्टिकुलर थिंग वेरी क्लियरली. आपके ड्रीम्स की वजह से या आपके एम्बिशन की वजह से आपकी फैमिली किसी भी तरह से डिस्टर्ब नहीं होनी चाहिए, बिकॉज दिस इज योर एम्बिशन. कई बार हम अपने एम्बिशन के चक्कर में अपनी फैमिली को बोलते हैं नहीं यू गॉट टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ दैट, यू स्विम एंड सिंक विद मी. नो दैट डजंट हैपन. ये आपकी ड्रीम है, आपकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, आपको लेके जाना है. आपके बच्चे सफर कर रहे हैं, आपकी वाइफ, आपके स्पाउसेस, आपके हस्बैंड सफर कर रहे हैं, दैट इज नॉट acceptable at all.
Okay, so when you say suffer, maybe at times what happens that आपकी जो ड्रीम होगी at times you will not get no doubt that dream would be a great one and बहुत अच्छी रहेगी, पर कभी-कभी क्या होता है ना कि सपोर्ट मिलता नहीं है. Are you talking about that or how?
I'm talking about money here right now, because हम finances की बात कर रहे थे. आप इतना कैलकुलेटर रिस्क नहीं ले रहे, आप इतना risky form में game खेल रहे हो, that at the end of the day, you know, there are people जो 2-2 साल 5-5 साल तक, you know, they are not able to earn anything and they are like एक दिन, you know, वो मुकम्मल जहान मिलेगा, like that, you know, but at the end of the day your family is bleeding.
Yeah.
And it is because of your dreams. And if that is the thing, there is nothing wrong in going back and taking up a job. I'm telling you, because I did the same. मैं कोई भी चीज आपको ऐसे नहीं बोल रही हूँ जो मैंने नहीं की है. Learn it the right way. Come back in the game if you have to. And this is something, you know, which not everybody is going to tell you. They're going to say, oh, business बहुत ही सुंदर है, सब कुछ create होता है. I'm telling you, job is more defined. At least आप एक ऐसे एटमॉस्फेयर में है जहाँ पे आपको पता है आपने 8 घंटे ही काम करना है, और आप 8 घंटे काम से जा रहे हो 24 घंटे काम करने, जहाँ पे आपको ये भी नहीं पता कि वो 24 घंटे काम करने के बाद भी आपको सर्टेन है. Now people might say, oh Nirupama, you're not giving us hope.
Yeah, so when we are discussing about the entrepreneurial journey here, we are also discussing about all the shades of it.
Yes.
So जैसे हमारे when we take decisions, we should be well informed about the grays and the darks also of the part. So considering all of it, पता चला कि हम सिर्फ फायदा और किसी ने तो नहीं बताया कि इसमें ये नुकसान है. So it's not about फायदा और नुकसान. You have to get a right fit of the why and how you're connected with the why, and then take all this into account when you are starting your journey.
Now let me talk about the second part of your question, 𝗵𝘂, wherein I spoke about the mindset. And right now I'm talking about the people who are already in jobs, you know. And अगर आपको सबसे पहले mindset create करना ना, the best place to start is being an intrapreneur. Now, who's an intrapreneur? Intrapreneur is somebody who's an entrepreneur within an organization.
Okay.
So now, this is not a term that is separately. आप किसी नौकरी पे या Monster पे जाके search करोगे, ऐसा intrapreneur नाम का word नहीं मिलेगा. But you got to start working like an entrepreneur within an organization, asking your boss for certain projects, taking off some work from there, looking at अगर मुझे एक independently project को handle करना होगा, so what is it that I would be required to do? And when you do it there in an atmosphere जहाँ पे आपको बहुत ज़्यादा financial challenge नहीं है, what happens is आपका risk calculated हो जाता है.
Yeah.
Because now you are actually doing a practice match in the nets. Before आप इंडिया के लिए खेलने जा रहे हो, आप net practice कर रहे हो.
At the same time, you get to know your SWOT as well, I guess.
Yes.
Get to know your strength and areas of improvement and opportunities.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get to know कि आप किस चीज के लिए बने हो, और आपको करते करते पता लगेगा आपका हुनर क्या है. What are you made of? You know, what is it that you're good at? So that's the first thing, you know, first mindset piece, you know, that I would do, because ultimately I can give you a lot of motivation, but I believe in action. आप action करके जितना सीखते हो, when you do something, you understand that where you are competent.
Yeah.
And when you feel competent, you get confident.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's the first mindset piece that I would want to give to the audience. Now, the next thing that I would also want to tell you is that please hire a mentor. आपको सारी चीजें, सारी गलतियां खुद करने की जरूरत नहीं है. You know, because at least वो mentor आपको वो सारी गलतियां नहीं करने देगा जो उसने की है. And when you go to that mentor, don't go to somebody who's absolutely successful. अगर वो successful रहा है अपनी life में throughout, तो then उसको ये नहीं पता है कि fail होना क्या होता है.
That's a very valid point.
So go to a person जो उतना ही fail हुआ है और जिसको पता है कि गलतियां क्या होती है, what it is to suffer, you know, when you don't have money, and what it is to suffer जब आपके पास एक time पे खूब पैसा आ रहा था and suddenly पैसा नहीं आ रहा है. What is that feeling like? जिसने वो feeling ही go through नहीं किया है, वो समझ ही नहीं आएगा उसको. You know, you can only understand somebody else's pain when you've gone through that pain yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. And इसमें एक question आ सकता है, you know, it's a very nascent and layman ये कि हमको कहाँ ऐसे mentor मिलेंगे?
So you'll
Because जितने way से we are leveraging the internet, you might also be knowing people. हर कोई इस तरह से सर्च और रिसर्च नहीं करता है. Everybody would not even know a lot of it. So जो सुनने वाले हैं और मे भी सोच रहे होंगे कि मुझे ये बिजनेस शुरू करना है, वो पूछेंगे कि कहाँ मिलेंगे, आप कराओगे या कहाँ, कैसे जानूं कि फेलियर उसका हुआ है कि नहीं. हाउ डू वी नो और हाउ डू आई नो, बिकॉज एवरीबडी वुड बी पोर्ट्रेइंग द सक्सेस.
I understand that most of the people, really show the brighter side or really
Yeah.
show, what is there. But what happens is whenever you are talking to somebody, and if that person is equally comfortable in talking about those things where that person really failed, that's one thing to identify. The second thing to identify is आपकी लाइफ में जो अभी चैलेंज आ रहा है, and if you can really ask somebody and go and ask that person क्या आपकी लाइफ में वो चैलेंज आया, और अगर वो चैलेंज आया तो आपने कैसे रिजॉल्व किया. अगर आपको समझ आ रहा है उस पर्सन की जर्नी से कि कि उसकी भी लाइफ में वो फेलियर था और उसने अपने फेलियर को इस तरह से किया, एंड इफ दैट आंसर इज practical and suitable to you,
resonating with the process.
Yes, the person might say नहीं सब कुछ चीजें हो जाती है. Like there are a lot of people who say मैं इतने हजार डेट में थी and then eventually मैंने इतना बड़ा लोन उठा लिया, and then I want to ask people that आपको किस बैंक ने लोन दिया.
Asking the right questions, which means that, very valid point.
So you got to be really open to asking people about their failures and let them ask. And anybody who's really comfortable talking about their failures and really looking at that, yes, they messed up, and really talking about their failures much more than their successes. Those are the people.
I think any right mentor would be like they are comfortable talking about, because मैंने भी अपने in this journey I have been meeting a lot of mentors and coaches. There are few coaches and mentors जो बहुत ही bright side दिखाते हैं, and there are many mentors and coaches, they are very vulnerable. They talk about ki genuine rather authentic and showing their vulnerable side, and they would say that okay ये journey में आता है, मतलब आप वही रास्ते से जाओगे तो एक खाई आएगी, बट उसके आगे एक और रास्ता है, एंड आई नो कि वहां से कैसे आपको लेके जाना है. दैट काइंड ऑफ, एंड इट्स सो ट्रू, एंड राइटिंग आस्किंग द राइट क्वेश्चंस, अदरवाइज हाउ डू यू नो.
एंड जो आपने बोला ना कि वो खाई आएगी, एटलीस्ट अगर एक मेंटर होगा ना तो वो खाई के पास खड़ा होगा और आपको गिरने नहीं देगा. दैट इज व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस ऑफ जस्ट वॉकिंग ऑन योर ओन एंड जस्ट होपिंग कि कहीं से जादू हो जाए, मिरेकल हो जाए, एंड वो आकाशवाणी हो जाए एंड मुझे रास्ता दिखा दे, बिकॉज़ देयर इज नथिंग लाइक दैट.
नहीं होता है ऐसा,
नहीं होता है. So that's something I would say, and I think constant learning आज की डेट में, अगर आप let's say जैसे मैं आपको अपनी जर्नी बता रही थी, मैं बहुत सारे पॉडकास्ट, बहुत सारे ऑडियो बुक्स, बहुत सारे कोर्सेज सुनती थी. जब मैं अपना ट्रैवल टाइम जो मेरा होता था फ्रॉम माय ऑफिस टू होम एंड होम टू ऑफिस, एंड दैट रियली गिव मी अ लॉट ऑफ इंसाइट. और जब आप उस दुनिया में कदम रखने लगते हो, वन थिंग लीड्स टू द अदर. You start meeting those kind of people. Those people are going to connect you with other like-minded opportunities, and that's how the things start evolving. But the fact is, you have to be open. You got to be a constant learner, and at the same time, whatever you learn, सिर्फ उसको शेल्फ लर्निंग या उसको ऐसे मत करिए कि आपने बस सुन लिया and it's gone. Please apply it, because the speed of implementation is much more than the speed of learning. अगर आप कुछ चीजें पढ़ रहे हैं लेकिन उसको साथ के साथ अप्लाई करें, जितनी जल्दी आप अप्लाई करेंगे ना, it will stay with us and it will start showing you results. उस रिजल्ट से आपको नेक्स्ट रिजल्ट दिखाई देगा.
Very true. So turning your knowledge to wisdom rather than keeping it as a baggage. पता चला आप भी ट्रेन में जा रहे हो बट बैगेज अपने ऊपर उठाए हो. It's like being that fool that you carry the knowledge but not applying to your whatever in your life. Very very relevant point. This is Nirupama. Okay. So now that ये अगर इस तरह का journey है निरुपमा, then how do we balance our personal life and entrepreneurial journey? No doubt इतना तो समझ में आ ही रहा है कि challenging. So based on your expertise, कैसा रहा? So what insights or little tips that you can
Yes.
offer to working women who want to be their own boss and take the leap while maintaining a fulfilling, the word is fulfilling, personal life as well. And, because we are all in the same journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, the first thing that you got to look at it from the perspective that it is a long-term game, अगर आप सोच रहे हैं कि 6 महीने में 3 महीने में वो क्रिएट हो जाएगा तो वो चीज नहीं होगी. And again, I want you all to look at it from a perspective of a process. आप काम करते रहिए, प्रोसेस में वो क्रिएट हो जाएगा. और आपके लिए थोड़ा टफ इसलिए बिकॉज आपके पास एक फुल टाइम जॉब भी है जिसके साथ आप क्रिएट कर रहे हैं. So now that you've decided that you would want to create one such thing, like the way you mark, your time कि आपका 9 to 5, 9 to 6 या उल्टा 5 to 9 है जो लोग नाइट शिफ्ट में काम कर रहे हैं, आपके लिए जिस तरह से टाइम उस चीज के लिए है, आप प्लीज एक जो टाइम है वो अपना मी टाइम निकालिए. मी टाइम राइट इन द मॉर्निंग और वेन एवर यू फील, जैसे अगर आप नाइट शिफ्ट में जो भी टाइम आपके लिए वर्क करता है, and that is the time for you to align with your own self. That is the time wherein you talk to yourself. बहुत सारे लोग अलग अलग रूटीन्स की बात करते हैं, ऐसा करना चाहिए. And Premsa is the right person. She talks about the 4 rooms. So you can always ask her the 4 rooms. I mean, she's an expert at that. So आपके पास वो जो मी टाइम है, उस मी टाइम पे अगर आपको स्टार्ट करना है तो अपने आप के साथ वो टाइम स्पेंड करिए, अपने आप से बात करिए एंड आइडेंटिफाई करिए कि आपकी लाइफ में वो कौन सी चीजें हैं जो इम्पोर्टेंट है. अगर आपकी लाइफ में, जैसे मेरी लाइफ में एक्सरसाइज बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, दैट्स समथिंग आई रियली होल्ड वेरी क्लोज. फॉर मी टॉकिंग टू माय पेरेंट्स एट द एंड ऑफ द डे इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. और जिस दिन लेट्स से मैं नहीं बात कर पाती, मुझे बहुत खराब लगता है. सो आपकी लाइफ में वो जो चीजें इंपॉर्टेंट है वो अपने आप को बताइए कि ये चीज इंपॉर्टेंट है. जिस तरह से आप बाकी चीजों के लिए टाइम निकालते, उसके लिए भी अपने कैलेंडर में या जो भी चीज आपके लिए वर्क करती है, मोबाइल में रिमाइंडर लगाना वर्क करता है, या एक एलोकेट कर दीजिए कि वो टाइम भी मुझे इनकॉर्पोरेट करना है.
So making a list of those activities which gives you oxygen. Which gives you oxygen, which is important for you, which is something that you cannot do without. मैं आपको अगर पूरे दिन पानी 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 देती रहूं और आपको खाना नहीं दूं, so you will be like ये पानी तो खूब पिला रही है बट मुझे खाना नहीं दे रही है. और अदर वे अराउंड, मैं आपको बहुत अच्छा, आपको जो चीजें पसंद है वो खाना खिला दूं और मैं आपको पूरे दिन प्यासा रखूं, तो अगेन इट्स गोइंग टू बी the balance, the equilibrium would be disturbed in some way. In the same manner, we have different things in our life, that bring that equilibrium in our life, जो भी चीज हमारे लिए important है. So first is the thing is identifying, and that me time will help you identify that what is important for you. The second thing is really creating those blocks. If you cannot do it in the day, do it during the week or during the month. I mean, I'll tell you, it was so funny. There was a time wherein, I was doing freelancing. I was creating my own business. I was doing my own webinars, and I did not used to give time to my husband. And, he was a nice person. He was like, हाँ ठीक है, business create करनी, but over a period of time, जिस पौधे में आप पानी नहीं दोगे, that पौधा is going to die out, right? So that's when, I really created these rituals. A date night, अच्छा फ्राइडे है, डेट नाइट पे है, मंडे है, संडे है, आज तो मूवी देखेंगे या आउटिंग के लिए जाएंगे. That's where you have to start creating those rituals for your own self. Beautiful, yeah, conscious rituals. Yes. And जब वो rituals आप create करोगे, आपको one aspect would be you would be happy. और जब आप खुश होंगे ना, आप खुश होके जब वो काम करोगे ना, you will actually bring in that fresh bunch of energy. You will get that oxygen, as Premsa was talking about. Get that oxygen, और वो ऑक्सीजन आपको
उस पौधे को इतने ब्यूटीफुल वे में थ्राइव करेंगी that you will enjoy that process. You'll not feel burnt out. You'll be like, अरे वाह, आज एक नया शो है प्रिंसाइन के साथ, चलो आज तो मजे करेंगे, आज तो बहुत ही मजा आएगा इस शो में. You know, it's like that's how I look forward to all my talk shows whenever I'm doing that, because I'm happy in other areas of my life.
Yeah. And at the same time, when you have the oxygen, even if this climate weather goes here and there, you can still sustain.
Yes.
You know, you will not get you will not fall into a trap of turbulence or maybe a different kind of a cyclonic kind of feeling. And that's very, very, very important.
And one more thing, Prince, I want to say, ये चीजें ना postmortem नहीं करनी है. बहुत सारे लोग जब चीजें खराब होती है ना, that's when they are like, अच्छा पैसे चले गए, अब सोचते हैं कि पैसे मैनेज कैसे करने, तब सीखना. रिलेशनशिप्स खराब हो गई है, now look at. So जब आप कॉन्शियसली वो एक सेल्फ केयर मैकेनिज्म्स बोलिए आप उसको, या रिचुअल्स बोलिए, या आपकी जो भी एक्टिविटीज है, जब आप उसको कॉन्शियसली हर रोज करने लग जाएंगे, सो इट इज लाइक ईटिंग हेल्दी. जब आप अच्छा खा रहे हैं, अच्छी टाइम से खा रहे हैं, सही टाइम पे सो रहे हैं, so the chances of you getting ill, they are going to become very less.
Very important. Yeah. That's exactly basically goal setting, and also setting your process goals to get it.
Absolutely.
Very beautiful.
Absolutely.
One final question, and very important, very valid question is entrepreneurship for everybody? If not, कोई अगर इस डिलेमा में है, उस चौराहा में या दोराह में खड़ा है कि नौकरी छोड़ो, मेरे लिए है कि नहीं है. How do a person, because I have seen and I have known people who are very happy with that 9 to 5 job or maybe a 9 to 8 job or जो भी है, but then how do a person know me? Is there any litmus test, निरुपमा, जो कि पता सके, or maybe something की तरह certain questions, पता कैसे चलेगा कि this is for me or not, this is the right path, मैं यहाँ पे thrive करूंगी. अब जैसे if we talk about like my logic, your logic is quite aligned कि बिना करे कैसे पता चलेगा. But then before that, any preventive measures, इससे पहले कि ये पता चले, जाकर पैसे डुबोने के बाद पता चले कि अरे ये मेरे लिए तो था ही नहीं, ऐसे क्या कुछ हो सकता है कि जो एक less risk में पता चल जाए?
Sure. And it's a beautiful question. So जब मैं रिफ्लेक्ट कर रही थी ना, मैं आपको अपनी जर्नी से दोबारा से बताती हूँ. So you know, start looking at your past. You know, आपने अपने पास्ट में कौन सी ऐसी चीजें की हैं जहाँ पे आप खुद इनिशिएटिव लेते थे. क्योंकि when you are actually wanting to get into entrepreneurship, आपको कोई बताने वाला नहीं है, कि आपका मैनेजर नहीं है कि ये टास्क करना है या ये टास्क नहीं करना है. सो पहले तो आप देखो कि आप खुद से इनिशिएटिव ले सकते हो अपनी लाइफ में. और यू नो, अगर आपको लगता है कि आप नहीं ले सकते हो, देन यू विल हैव टू हैव अ सीईओ और समबडी इन योर कंपनी जो आपको बता सके कि आपको क्या करना है. मैं ये नहीं कह रही कि वो स्किल हर एक के पास होती है, बट व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से इज कि दिस एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में कुछ ऐसी चीजें हैं जो नॉन नेगोशिएबल्स है. यू हैव टू बी सेल्फ ड्रिवन. आपको कोई मोटिवेट नहीं कर सकता है इसमें काम करने के लिए. अगर आप सेल्फ ड्रिवन है हर रोज काम करने के लिए, अपने लिए आगे बढ़ने के लिए, और आप देखिए पास्ट में आपने क्या क्या चीजें की है. जैसे मुझे याद है, मैं कॉलेज में फेस्ट में बहुत एक्टिव थी, या फेस्ट की ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में बहुत एक्टिव थी, या मैं ऐसे वॉलंटरी एक्सपीरियंसेस करती थी, वॉलंटरी कैंप्स लगाती थी, और वो मैंने छोटे छोटे लेवल पे किए थे. यू नो, जो जिसने मुझे एक बेसिक एक्सपीरियंस दे दिया था कि कोई चीज इंडिपेंडेंटली कैसे क्रिएट करनी. हो सकता है आप अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के CSR प्रोजेक्ट्स है, या कुछ ऐसी चीजें हैं जो आप अपनी ब्लड डोनेशन कैंप्स है, उसमें एक्टिवली कुछ चीजें क्रिएट कर रहे हैं. यूज दैट एज अ प्लेटफॉर्म जहाँ पे आप अपनी स्किल्स को टेस्ट कर सकते हो. कैन यू एक्चुअली टेक एन इंडिपेंडेंट प्रोजेक्ट, एंड दैट्स व्हेयर आई ब्रिंग यू टू द इंट्राप्रेन्योरल एस्पेक्ट. कि एज एन इंट्राप्रेन्योर काम करके देखिए कि मैं क्या एक छोटा प्रोजेक्ट अपने बॉस की टेबल से हटा के आई कैन इंडिपेंडेंटली रन दैट, वेरिन आई एम फीलिंग दैट यू नो मैं उस चीज को बेहतरीन वे में कर सकता हूँ या कर सकती हूँ. ऑल्सो लुक एट यू नो, कई बार होता है कि हमें एक एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के लिए हमारी नेगोशिएशन स्किल्स भी यू नो डेवलप करनी होती है, जो कि डेवलप की जा सकती है. बट एक बेसिक लेवल पे क्या आप लोगों को एनरोल कर पाते हो? जैसे एज अ चाइल्ड आपको कुछ टॉय चाहिए था अपने पेरेंट्स से, एंड यू नो यू आर एबल टू कन्विंस योर पेरेंट्स यू नो कि आपको कुछ चाहिए था. क्योंकि सबसे पहले हमें वो सेल अपने घर में करना होता है. You know, we have to sell that idea. I know that like that's the most difficult thing to do, but at least आप ये देखिए कि आपके close आसपास नेटवर्क में जो लोग हैं, आप क्या उनको सेल कर पा रहे हो अपना आइडिया? अगर आप अपने क्लोज नेटवर्क में ही वो अपना आइडिया नहीं सेल कर पा रहे हो, सो इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू गो टू स्ट्रेंजर्स जो आपको जानते भी नहीं है और आप उनको सेल करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो। तो आपको ना अपने पैटर्न्स बहुत आइडेंटिफाई करने की जरूरत है।
The past patterns, observation of your past patterns, and as you rightly said कि you know self driven कितने हो, and वो करते समय मजा आ रहा है क्या? Because that's what I think I got it from your when you said that I was very self driven organizing fest when you were in school, and you said that you were enjoying that. किसी ने कोई बोला नहीं हुआ, you just took the initiative by your own self. And I think these patterns are enough to give you these ideas. And ऐसे नहीं है कि entrepreneurship में सबको सब कुछ पता होता है.
Absolutely.
But at least the fundamental and the non-negotiables should be in place, and then बाकी सब कुछ तो layers में सीखा जा सकता है.
बिल्कुल. And वही है ना कि you got to be okay with living on the edge.
Yeah.
That's another factor. अगर आप एक, जैसे मैं बता रही हूँ कि कुछ लोगों की वैल्यू सिक्योरिटी ड्रिवन होती है कि उनको एक चाहिए कि मेरे पास सारी चीजें सिक्योर्ड वे में होनी चाहिए. अगर आपकी वो वैल्यू है तो इट्स एब्सोल्युटली ओके टू बी यू नो इन अ 9 to 5 इनटू अ जॉब, बट आपको क्लैरिटी होनी चाहिए कि आपको क्या पसंद है. मुझे पता है मेरी एडवेंचर बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग वैल्यू है. आई एम ओके टू लिव ऑन द एज, यू नो, क्योंकि अगर वो मुझे थ्रिल नहीं मिलेगा लाइफ में तो मुझे मजा नहीं आता है काम करने में. कोई मुझे बिठा के सब कुछ खिला दे, मैं बोर हो जाऊंगी. यू नो, आई विल बी लाइक मैं नहीं रह सकती ऐसे एनवायरनमेंट में.
I think you might have Sadhguru के बहुत सारे speeches में भी he has mentioned this, right? कि I love that thrill, you know, all that. Yeah, I understand, and I am also kind of, you know, very resonating with the core values that I have, and that's what is driving me. I think the why जो layers आपने बताया, and then you know the even the NLP tools chunking down. You get to your why and the layers of why, and then you know वो जो अनियन के छिलके छिलते जाओ, and then you reach to the end, and then I think that one exercise is going to help you just to decide कि ये मेरे लिए है कि नहीं.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. एक और भी चीज होती है, जैसे पता है आप ना अगर लाइफ में चैलेंजेस लेते हो, जैसे अच्छा मैं एक एग्जांपल दे रही हूँ. मेरे को मैराथन दौड़ना बहुत पसंद था, यू नो, एक स्टेज पे, एंड दैट वाज अ वेरी बेसिक एग्जांपल. वो मेरी हेल्थ के एरिया में था कि मुझे एक चैलेंज लेना है. मैं नहीं दौड़ पाती हूँ उतना, बट मुझे दौड़ना है, यू नो, बिकॉज that is something that is going to really make me strong as a person, make my body strong in order to, मेरा विल पावर स्ट्रॉन्ग होगा कि मैं वो रीच कर सकती हूँ नहीं. तो आपको ये भी चेक करना है कि आपको चैलेंज लेना पसंद है, क्योंकि एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप उन्हीं लोगों के लिए जो हर एक स्टेज पे चैलेंज लेके उस चैलेंज पे चल सकते हैं और अपने आप को ग्रो कर सकते हैं. अगर आपको नहीं पसंद है चैलेंज लेना, तो देन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप इज डेफिनेटली नॉट फॉर यू. ये भी एक प्रॉबेबली एक लिटमस टेस्ट या एक एरिया होगा जिससे आप आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं कि क्या आपको उस पाथ पे जाना है, नहीं जाना. आपको उतर के ही जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. आपके पास एक आइडिया है, आप उसको एक्सप्लोर करने लगो, you know.
Absolutely, and you have given such beautiful, you know, intrapreneur, that's what word I learned.
Intrapreneur. Yeah,
so you can start with that because you have a safe job and you are in 9 to 5 and you are thinking about it, then start from there. Have a 6-7 months or 1 year experience taking one project from your boss and you know, driving it independent, and then you get to know a lot about yourself, and then maybe after that you can take a call. That would be a great idea to be, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wow. That was a power pack session or podcast, I would say. Now, a little fun part of it we are entering to. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. बहुत ज़्यादा परेशान नहीं करूँगी. But
नहीं करो.
So this is a very, you know, whatever comes to your mind, impromptu answer देना है निरुपमा. So this is something like a bit of fun. So if you were to describe the life of an entrepreneur using a movie title,
okay,
what would it be? For example, आप
जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा.
Oh, wow. ये बढ़िया था. अच्छा, ऐसे कुछ अगर आप खुद डायरेक्ट करना चाहते हो, not because ये नाम already use हो चुका है. So something creative that's popping up in your mind.
मतलब मुझे अगर मूवी कुछ बनानी हो तो उसको टाइटल क्या दूंगी?
क्या नाम दोगे? हाँ.
So मैं ना हमेशा एक स्टेटमेंट यूज करती हूँ, ये शायद मेरी इनिशियल एंटरप्रेन्योरियल जर्नी में ही स्टार्ट हुआ था. Own your greatness and soar high because the world needs a special you. So मैं अगर एक स्टेटमेंट में बोलना चाहूंगी तो मैं लोगों को यही बोलना चाहूंगी, ओन योर ग्रेटनेस, क्योंकि हम सबके अंदर एक ग्रेटनेस है और वो हमें ग्रेटनेस आइडेंटिफाई करने की जरूरत है, जिस फॉर्म में भी हम बने हुए हैं. यू नो द ऑलमाइटी, द डिवाइन हैज क्रिएटेड अस इन दैट फॉर्म. हमें उस हुनर को, उस स्ट्रेंथ को, उस ग्रेटनेस को आइडेंटिफाई करके उसको पूरी तरह से ओन कर लेना है. दैट इज समथिंग.
हिंदी वर्जन क्या होगा?
अब ये तो मेरे को ग्रेटनेस का गूगल करना पड़ेगा. Okay. Something like कर लो दुनिया मुट्ठी में, something.
Oh wow, this is good.
कर लो दुनिया मुट्ठी में. Yeah.
Okay, coming to the second. What is the most amusing or unusual piece of advice you have received about being your own boss?
Unusual piece of advice.
अपनी जर्नी में जब आपने स्टार्ट किया, मे बी इन बिटवीन, ऐसे होते हैं ना कि बहुत सारे इधर उधर बोलने वाले भी होते हैं ना, कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना. ऐसा कोई advice?
Yeah, a lot of people went and told me that तुम्हें नहीं लगता इससे अच्छा तो तुम नौकरी में ही कमा रही थी, या तुम्हारे पास एटलीस्ट पूरा टाइम तो था, 9 to 5 के बाद तुम अपना टाइम दे सकती थी. Yeah, so I mean a lot of people have come and really told me this thing. वो तो बड़ा आसान था ना.
अच्छा, ओके.
वो तो इतना आसान था, तुम ये करने क्यों चली गई? ये तो बड़ा डिफिकल्ट है, आसानी से पैसा नहीं कमाया जा सकता तुमसे.
Oh wow, this is great. Okay, and ज़्यादा नहीं, दो और क्वेश्चन है. So what's the funniest or most memorable mistake you have made as an entrepreneur? And वहाँ से क्या सीखा? What did you learn from it? Funniest mistake.
Yeah, I'm thinking. मैं सोच रही हूँ कि मैंने ऐसी फनी मिस्टेक क्या की. So probably होता क्या है कि मैं बहुत सारे टॉक शोज करती हूँ प्रेमसाई, एंड एज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर, जैसे मैंने आपको बोला, मुझे बात करना बहुत पसंद है, लाइक दैट. सो अब क्या होता है, कई टॉक शोज में मैं प्रिपेयर्ड होती हूँ, कई टॉक शोज में कई बार ऐसी सिचुएशन होती है कि आपको प्रिपेयर होने का मौका नहीं मिलता है. सो एक टॉक शो था जहाँ पे मेरे को कुछ म्यूजिक वगैरह प्ले करना था, मैंने ट्रैक्स लगाए हुए थे. तो अब लास्ट मिनट पे टेक्नोलॉजी हैज इट्स ओन रोल एंड वो नहीं हुआ. सो अब क्या करें, तो मैंने गाना स्टार्ट कर दिया और डांस करने लग गई. Yeah, I did that and I was like कि अभी किसी को पता थोड़ी है कि पीछे स्क्रिप्ट में क्या है क्या नहीं है. So I actually started singing and I actually started dancing there, and I was like, and people felt that it was a part of the talk show.
Wow. Okay, so I think we actually this is one of the question which through which we got connected, Unstoppable Woman here. And that's how you get connect to more of women out there. So yes. Who is your unstoppable woman of your life?
I really admire 𝗙𝗵𝗿𝗆 I've really admired her as a child. I've read all her books. The simplicity with which she does those things, and जैसे मेरी लाइफ में जो बुक्स की इम्पोर्टेंस की, एक घर में अगर आपके पास बुक्स नहीं है, so you are not wealthy enough. You could have everything at home, but if you don't have those kind of books, you are very poor. So जो मैंने उनसे सीखा है to get that kind of wisdom and to do things with intent and doing those things that maybe society doesn't expect you to do as a woman. And breaking all those odds. I think I've learned from her in a big way. Now that even she has everything, वो जिस तरह से अपनी social service or charitable चीजें करती है, and she's out from the house right at early hours in the morning and बहुत सारे दिन travel करती हैं, and a lot of times her husband Mr. Murthy asks him that abhi tumhe kya karne ki zarurat hai, but that's what gives her that kind of passion. And
that's her oxygen.
That's her oxygen. So I think हम लोगों को सब कुछ ना कुछ ड्राइव करता है, और हमें जो पता है कि वो मेरी ऑक्सीजन है, तो हमें उस ऑक्सीजन को कभी भी नहीं छोड़ना चाहिए, even if you have everything, you know, to support you to do everything. Yeah, so I admire her in a huge way.
Even I too. बहुत सारे उनके वीडियोस मैंने देखे हैं निरुपमा. Simplicity itself is like, you know, एक ऐसी चीज है कि you bow down to that being simple.
Yes.
कुछ आप कर लो, and the kind of story that she has, and कुछ एक books मैंने पढ़े हैं, but this one more book which I still have to read, 3000 Stitches, I guess. That's one of the book. I know the story behind, but I have not read the book. I still want to read that. But and the language that she uses is a very simple language, very understandable, fit for Indian audience.
बिल्कुल. और एक चीज और भी होती है ना कि हम जितना बेसिक्स पे चले जाते हैं ना, हम उन चीजों पे फोकस कर पाते हैं जो हमारी लाइफ में रियली मैटर करती है.
Yes, very much.
कई बार हम लोग इतने आसपास चीजों में गुम से जाते हैं कि जो चीजें बहुत मैटर करती है वो छूट जाती है, क्योंकि सारा फोकस, आप तो फोकस कोच हो तो आपको पता है कि फोकस बाकी सारी चीजों पे चला जाता है, और जो चीजें रियल में मैटर करती है वो चीजें छूट जाती है. तो वो चीज मैंने उनसे बहुत गहराई में सीखी है, और मुझे बहुत, I mean, वो मेरी फेवरेट है.
Yeah, and particularly COVID has taught us कि how you know, हम ऑक्सीजन ऐसे फ्री मिल जाता है तो we don't really value the you know, the gratitude feeling is not to the universe that how this exchange is happening.
Yes.
Breathing itself. And लोग उसी ऑक्सीजन को ICU में heavy price pay करके, you know, they got to learn, and there are a lot of stories around that how people realize the importance of you know, being grateful for what you just have it like that, and you have not thought of that you don't realize that ये easily हमको मिला हुआ है करके. Amazing. Thank you so much, Nirupama. It was a amazing and बहुत सारी learnings power pack podcast था, and at the end you added a element of fun answering those, you know, funny questions that I had designed for you. सोचा था कि किसी में तो कुछ इधर उधर, मतलब I just wanted to really have a little fun with asking these questions, and I'm sure this podcast is going to really help take a call on this entrepreneur journey, whether to have it or not to go with it. And apart from that, when you decide to go for it, then still there are a lot of takeaways where you can get a insight and a call to action, what not to do, what to do, and all sort of it. So I would request all of my listeners to do not fast forward while listening, you know, go bit by bit, and just you know, though it's a you know, podcast of more than 1 hour, but it would really make sense if you just focus on each part and take notes of it. That would really. So thank you so much, Nirupama. It was great having you in my podcast, Focus in Action. It shows that how you got clarity by asking questions to yourself, and then getting to know your focus, and then moving forward. And amazing, and all the best to your further journey.
Thank you so much, 𝗵𝘂. It was such an awesome platform. And जो आपने मुझसे सवाल पूछे, जैसे आप बोलते हो, asking questions is one of the way to retain your focus, to get back your focus. It also helped me reflect in my life and understand, you know, who I am as a person. So I'm so happy to be on the show Focus in Action, and I really wish you all the best. Wish all the listeners, you know, who are listening to both of us, the very best in your life. Guys, keep growing, keep inspiring, and keep the learning curve on, because life is all about learning and moving on. So all the best to everyone out there.
And guys, those who are listening and who are actually planning to start this entrepreneurial journey, you need a mentor who can help you, is Nirupama, right? You can get connected with her, and I am going to share her details in the description box. You can get connected with her, and you know, get a mentor for yourself and make your journey, entrepreneurial journey, a little less stressful, and enjoy the journey with your mentor.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much.